Well, no group has got a below inflation pay award. In fact, everybody's got above inflation pay award. So that's a bit of a myth which needs to be put into context. So the question for some people is, are they getting enough to deal with what they would consider as rising costs around the cost of living? I believe that the government has made a fairly conscious effort to try and deal in 2020 with the problems associated with equal pay and equal value. So we had some members of staff, particularly at the lower end of the economic strata, who were paid way below other public servants. And that's just wrong. So you need to be able to deal with that. And for those people, often key workers, again, going back to health or education, they needed to be given the right incentives and the right parity to be able to ensure that we had good quality applicants, be it on island or people that we were recruiting, being attracted to those jobs.
Putting aside issues with money, and I'm quoting you here, you've previously said the accommodation we provide for nursing is crap. That's quite an admission.
So a lot of our short-term accommodation wasn't fit for purpose. The monies that have been put into the government plan for capital resources will help deal with some of the backlog around that. But quite frankly, some of the accommodation that we've put colleagues in hasn't been to the standard that you would normally expect.
And that's not going to bring people over here, is it?
For sure, but then we are now dealing with it. So when I was quoted in that particular instance, it was about the historical position. And sure, we've still got work to do, but we are on with it. And I'm confident that over the next 12 to 24 months, you will see a very, very different picture, which again should reduce the barriers for people coming to work here.
There are still a lot of unfilled jobs at the hospital. Are you doing enough to fill those, do you think?
Yeah, this is an interesting quote that's come out. I think we've got a number of jobs that previously were being filled by agency staff, which we now are stopping agency staff taking those roles because they're very expensive and looking to recruit locally. So we're going out for the recruitment. The other bit is that we've got some vacancies that we're holding quite deliberately because we are still determining the jobs for healthcare workers. And what you wouldn't want to do is fill jobs if there are going to be people who might be displaced from a job that they currently have, and you could redeploy them back into other roles.
You also mentioned some of the systems, particularly when people bring their cars here. I think by a lot of other country standards, the systems are somewhat cumbersome and antiquated.
Yes.
Do we not just need to simplify them?
Well, there is a whole programme of activity going on at the moment about reducing the duplication and the bureaucracy. I think we'll also see a lot more paperwork being put online, which will ease the amounts of forms that you have to fill in and try and organise it so it goes through one place, because again, people get pushed from pillar to post. So all of that I've talked about before. The government has now, and the Assembly, agreed the investment for trying to improve that, and I'm confident that over the next period we'll start to see some of that bureaucracy reduce and improve the ability for people to navigate their way through, as you rightly point out, the appropriate but sometimes slightly cumbersome arrangements we currently have.